If you do not replace these light bulbs with these, you will be arrested. Not actually arrested, but stay tuned to find out why. In 2007 was instated the Energy Independence and Security Act. This act was proposed to help reduce the amount of energy consumed by US citizens in the use of their light bulbs. Many light bulbs have been outlawed since then with more energy efficient lighting uses to be placed instead of them. Light bulbs such as LEDs, halogen, compact fluorescents are all examples of light bulbs that are allowed to be used and recommended to be used instead of these incandescent light bulbs. Some of the incandescent bulbs that were taken off are such as A19 60 watt, 100 watt A19s, 75 watt, also incandescent PARs, PAR 38s, PAR 30s, and BRs. There's a few loopholes to these restrictions because some bulbs there are not, or some lamps there are not direct replacements for them. So these lamps include rough service lamps, vibration service lamps, three-way incandescent lamps, high lumen lamps, and shatter-resistant lamps. So these loophole-ish lamps are still allowed to be sold throughout the US. Until earlier this year, as of January 1, 2018, 2 of the 5 restricted or allowed lamps are now restricted, which are the rough service and the vibration service lamps. These lamps that we have here are some of the ones that are now restricted. The lamps include A19 40 and 60 watt, both clear and frosted. Those are the vibration service. The vibration service 60 watt T10 clear and frosted, which are these lamps right here. And the rough service 60, 75, and 100 watt A19s, the 75, 100 A21s, the 100 watt A23s, the 50 watt A19s, the 75 A19s, and the 100 watt A19 rough service. These lamps, which are all here, are all incandescent lamps. I'll pull one out to show you guys. And these lamps are now being outlawed because of the energy use that they consume. So they were allowed to stay in circulation because there was not a direct replacement for them, but since too many of these were sold because some manufacturers were just selling their original incandescents as now classified rough service or vibration service lamps. So now that they have sold so many of them, the government caught on to that and is now saying, hey, you guys can't do that anymore. So now we have to come up with different solutions of what lamps to use instead. So here's a few different lamps to consider when needing to switch over. LEDs are the number one. I couldn't recommend more switching to LEDs. They are longer lasting, they produce a nice light, they are energy efficient, and did I mention they are long lasting? I think I did. But yeah, so LEDs, they're great. I'm sure you've all seen LEDs or heard of LEDs. These can go in place of the rough service lamps. So I'm here just to recommend to you guys a few products that you should be using, like a few lamps that you should be replacing your incandescent lamps with. Because if you don't know already that you're using incandescent lamps, you may know because some are probably burnt out, they're very hot, and you probably have to change them all the time. So this is an incandescent lamp, just a typical household lamp that you would see in lamps, you would see it in your ceiling fixtures. It's just a 60 watt A19. This is what you call a regular light bulb. It has 2,500 hours, so it'll last you 2,500 hours, and it has this little filament inside, which is just how incandescent bulbs light up. When they burn out, you can often see the filament is burnt inside, and oftentimes if you shake the bulb too much or if you hit it, it'll burn out quickly because that metal little, I believe it's tungsten filament, it'll burn up and it'll break, and then the lamp won't work anymore. So instead of this 60 watt A19, which remember that it has 2,500 hour life, my personal favorite thing for you to use would be an LED A19. So this one, it's a Sacco product S9836. It's a 9.5 watt A19, so it's 9.5 watts. This one's 60 watts. That's more than 6 times less the amount of energy for the same bulb. Lumen output, the LED has 800 lumens, and the incandescent one only puts out 580 lumens. So in addition to being less wattage, it has a higher lumen rating as well. So let's check this bulb out. So this one comes in a vast array of color temperatures. This one in particular is 3000 Kelvin. We also have a 2700 Kelvin here and a 4000. So the 2700 is more on the yellower side and the 4000 is more on the whiter side. This one here is a 3000 Kelvin. Same shape, the A19 means the shape of the bulb as the medium E26 base. So it's a normal screw-in base. And this lamp will last you 25,000 hours opposed to 2,500. So it'll last you 10 times longer, and it's 6 times less electric, 6 times less the amount of wattage. The cost of these are higher than the incandescents, but when you do a cost comparison over the lifetime, it's far cheaper to operate as well as purchase the LED lamp. When you do the math for how often you would replace it over 25,000 hours, and also how much you'd be spending on electricity. So this is a good replacement for the A19. If you don't want to go to LED, if you want to do something a little cheaper but you want something also as efficient, what you can do is purchase it's called a mini spiral CFL, stands for compact fluorescent. So just like the fluorescents you may see in office buildings, those 4-foot long tubes above your head, this is basically a compact fluorescent, so just like a mini fluorescent. And instead of the tube being straight, they make it a little curly cube, kind of like an ice cream cone. And so this is just a fluorescent lamp, which is more efficient than the incandescent lamp, and also not outlawed by the government like the incandescent lamps. And there's a little ballast, an electronic ballast, inside of this, above the socket and below the lamp, which when electricity flows through, it flows through the ballast and it ignites the gases and it lights up, and the light is emitted through the phosphorus, the white powder, which converts it into a visible light, and then it operates like a normal light bulb, you could say. It would light up your room. Issues with these is they do have mercury inside of them, so you must recycle them with a certified recycler to properly dispose of them. If they do break, be cautious when cleaning them up. Just get it nice and clean. I don't know the certain requirements for mercury spills, but maybe hit Google with that one. So yeah, the pros and cons towards compact fluorescents go that compact fluorescents don't operate great in the cold temperature, and when you first turn them on, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute to warm up. So if you have them in a closet where you want to just like flip the switch and go right in, maybe go to LED, maybe spend a few extra bucks on the LED lamps, because you'll be able to flip the switch. Like in my closet at home, I have an LED, you just flip the switch and it's nice and bright. I used to have compact fluorescents back before LEDs became more popular, and you'd flip the switch and it'd be dark, and then after a minute, after the time I get my shoes and clothes and put my shoes on, then it's finally bright. You don't want that. You want your light to be on right when you hit the switch. Like, you want it on. That's what's great about incandescents, is because right when you hit the switch, it's on and it's a nice, warm, soft light. So that's why people do like incandescents, even though they're very inefficient. But a good solution is definitely to switch to the LED lamps, any of the LED lamps, which would replace the incandescent at a very comparable light level and light color. In addition to the 60 watters, there's also the 40 watt vibration service lamps, which are now being outlawed, and a solution to that is just a 4.5 watt LED. This is a dimmable Satco S9273. This replaces a 40 watt, and this one is actually pretty cool. It has a filament inside, which makes it look like one of those antique light bulbs. As you can see, there's like a little filament inside, so it's a nice, cool looking light bulb. This comes in clear, so that way you can see the filaments and you can put it in a nice decorative area. In addition, this one's rubber coated. You can't really tell on camera, but it's nice rubber coated, so that way if it's shattered, so say this was like above a table in a restaurant, legally they have to be rubber coated, so that way if it shatters, glass doesn't fall into your food. So if this thing shattered, it would remain in this little rubber coating, rubber seal, and it wouldn't shatter and explode everywhere. Additionally, this one is 4.5 watts and emits 450 lumens, opposed to the 40 watt, which emits 300 lumens. So once again, this is 4.5 versus 40 watts, so it's a little less than a little more than 4 times less the electricity, right? A little more, yeah, something like that. You know what I mean. And no, a little less than 4 times the least amount of the less electricity. Something along those lines. All right. So yeah, those are some solutions because as you can see on Light Bulb Wholesaler's website, the light bulbs are going extinct, just like the dinosaurs, and you're not going to be able to get these bulbs anymore. Whether you like them or not, in some states it's illegal to purchase them, and they're now illegal to manufacture. So soon, before, like once all the supply goes, you're gonna have to upgrade. You're gonna have to change your light source, and something definitely to consider is the LEDs. Now I gave you the features and benefits of the compact fluorescents, and I can't really think of an instance where I'd be like, oh, I'd much rather have a compact fluorescent than an LED. But other than that, LEDs are definitely the way to go, and there's a ton of these lamps which are now being outlawed, because as I mentioned before, there was like the loophole that you could get these lamps which were outlawed in the ISA, the Energy Independence and Security Act from 2007. But as of 2018, a few of the loopholes have now been closed because there have been too many manufacturers that have been distributing the lamps under the certain qualifications or loopholes. So because so many of the lamps were sold, such as the rough service and under the rough service and vibration service requirement, they're now banning those. So you're gonna have to switch to a more energy efficient solution. If you do have any questions about what I said, about questions of what lamp to replace, or just any questions lighting related, or you just have a question about me in general, go to www.lightbulbwholesaler.com and click on Contact Us, and you can get in contact. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe below. Drop any comments in the comment box where we definitely read them. Also, you can contact us through the Light Bulb Wholesaler website. And stay tuned for more videos like this and other informative videos. Thank you.